I know I can't be the only one asking the question, what the heck is going on with SanDisk? What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions, and I want to answer that question for you. Why is SanDisk selling off after reporting amazing earnings? And I'll save you. I'm going to get into the details. I want to share some of the numbers. SanDisk reported amazing earnings. You're going to see some analysts try to cherry pick some of the numbers that they reported. Oh, but they did great. They did great through and through. It goes back to the simple idea that Wall Street always does, and it's already priced in. There is no other excuse you can come up with other than that as of right now. There could be uncertainty about if SanDisk could possibly maintain this type of gross margin because they've been aggressively raising their prices for some of their best performing products. And because of that, their gross margins are insane. So I wanted to share some of the details that I've learned about SanDisk. And you guys let me know down in the comment section how I do, right? SanDisk down 8% on the day. Western Digital down 11.8%. App 11 was down 27%. Now it's only down 15%. So not a good day for a lot of these companies that reported earnings, but we're going to focus right now on SanDisk. So first off, again, jumping onto the Investing Pro software, SanDisk, according to Fair Value, there's about 15.7% upside. P ratio, 44.4 times its earnings. Not incredibly expensive, but also not super cheap, right? Revenue, 13.1 billion. Net income, 4.5 billion. We all know about that, right? Earnings, absolutely, they killed it. Let's go ahead and start off with that. When it comes down to SanDisk earnings, beat on EPS, $39.25 per share. Tesla could never. I said it once, I'll say it again. Tesla could never come in with these numbers. Revenue, 8.9 billion in revenue, beat by 7%. Look at these numbers. You can't even read that. 13,434% year-over-year growth for its EPS. Revenue 372% year-over-year. EPS quarter-over-quarter, up 68%. Revenue up 51% quarter-over-quarter. Again, incredible. Stock sells off. Okay, where did it kind of maybe not fully exceed Wall Street expectation? Guidance for revenue was estimated to be right around 11 billion. It came in at 10.3, 10.8. Not that significant. Adjusted EPS came in right in line. Again, not a huge beat. Just nothing crazy. Adjusted gross margin, this is the crazy part. We're talking about a gross margin, 83 to 85%. That's insane. That's unheard of. And I think that's where really maybe the concern might be without anyone actually talking about it. Can SanDisk throughout the years continue to maintain, that's really the big question, gross margins of 83 to 85%? If they cannot, and it begins to drop from 83, 85 to 80, then 75, then 70, back down to 60, maybe because if demand slows down, CapEx spending begins to go down, alternatives end up presenting themselves. This would deeply affect the valuation of SanDisk, of how much it's already trading as a premium. That's kind of where the cyclical part idea concern gets presented with SanDisk, right? Memory chip companies often are viewed to be cyclical. They come through cycles. There's high demand. It tends to be short-lived. And then eventually they end up falling apart. But then there's this. Weighted average contract duration is above 4 years. They're sold out for the next 4 years on average. I just don't understand how, that within itself, I think there's a lot of reassurance. But again, the big concern is maybe the gross margins. SanDisk data center revenue has jumped 103% over the last quarter, 1,298% year over year. And just the cherry on top, this is what I view it as. SanDisk approves a $14 billion share buyback. This just provides reassurance that the company is also something that MicroStrategy would never. They would never buy back their shares. I also believe that when Tesla is incredibly inflated, Tesla would never buy back their shares, at overinflated levels. This just shows that they have confidence not only in their product, but in their company, and they're willing to reinvest and own more of it, right? That being able to buy back $14 billion worth of their company. And then also just a little side note, Microsoft AI sales mostly come from OpenAI. Disclosure shows that about 70% is OpenAI, which kind of like a little bit of a concern that so much is centered around just one company. But nonetheless, we're here talking about SanDisk. Where do we go from here? I do want to say, after seeing this earnings report and seeing how little confidence Wall Street has in SanDisk, just knowing how greedy Wall Street is, I feel like there is a bigger problem that eventually will unfold, and people like you and I, retail traders and investors, will begin to kind of learn more about. NASDAQ market and S&P 500, right? S&P, SPY, just 2 days ago or a day ago, was trading at all-time highs, SPY, right? NASDAQ market, incredibly bullish, nearly at all-time highs. Why? Why is the best performing stock of 2026 still down 42%? I think that there is something that is not being shared, the true concern, right? And I think a lot of it might have to do with, like, we can see that their demand is locked in for the next 4 years. Their gross margins are incredibly attractive, in the 80%. Do they not think that it can sustain those gross margins for the years to come? Because then at that point, remember, that's the profit that this company is set to make. At that point, if it's not producing at that same, not just capacity when it comes down to overall revenue, like Tesla makes a lot of money when it comes down to revenue, but their gross margins are razor thin. They barely make any money, right? Especially no longer being subsidized by the US government anymore. Like, it's pathetic. That's why there's such a big disconnect between its valuation and what it actually makes as a business. SanDisk is kind of the opposite. It's trading at a high price, but it also makes a ton of money. There has to be concern about its ability to continue to make as much as it does in the future. That's all I can kind of resort to. So we'll see, right? Definitely, I was more eager to own more SanDisk as it became a little bit more oversold. Maybe I'll end up regretting it, but just based off of what I'm seeing on how the market's reacting, it provides me less reassurance that maybe I do want to be, I don't mind having some skin in the game with SanDisk, but yeah, maybe after a 400% run up year to date, right? Because it's still up, 400%, but at one point it was up 890%. Maybe I do want to give it a little bit of breathing room, right? So I think that's kind of where I'm going to go from here. I'm not afraid to have some exposure into this company as an investment, but I definitely don't want to have too much just in case it does get worse before it gets better. That's my 2 cents on it. Again, reported amazing earnings. We'll see how the days follow. Maybe I'll end up regretting completely not buying the dip, but I kind of just want to learn more about the business and see how and what Wall Street ends up making out of it. So I'll do my part in keeping you guys up to date. Again, the big focus as of right now is NASDAQ market is testing a critical range, is testing a previous resistance range. And if NASDAQ begins to sell off, right, it's still not confirmed. We're still waiting to hear if the peace deal between Iran and the US gets confirmed. Because remember, it was supposed to be agreed upon today. And now Trump pushed down the deadline until tomorrow. And then now I'm hearing it's till the end of the week. So it's the whole trade war all over again. Deal or no deal. But as of right now, markets are at a critical point where if it does break support, there's a big gap down. And if overall markets begin to drop, then your favorite tech companies will most likely fall as well. So we'll talk about it in a little bit more detail in tomorrow's live trading session. Like I've said before, if you ever want to watch me trade live, even before you join my LPP team, second link in the description down below, scroll down and preview one of our recent live trading sessions. So even before you join, you know exactly what to expect. I'm going to have a discount code for you in the second link down below. It's going to be right next to the link. But the thing that I also do want to remind you is, again, we'd encourage you to use our risk calculator to start planning out your trades. If you want to figure out your win rate based off of the trades that you take and how much money you could actually make based off of your trading edge, your risk per trade, your win rate, your risk to reward ratio, and the number of trades that you take per day. We also have an economic calendar that you can use here on our LPP landing page. So again, it's all available if you guys just want to take a few minutes to kind of like scroll through our homepage. Second link down below, and hopefully maybe a few of you can join us for tomorrow's live trading session. I appreciate you guys' time. I hope that we're in the thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.